Algebra 2, Chapter 8, test review. Let's go. Start by looking at the denominator. What would cause that to be 0? -2. Put it in the cheap monk-ness. Then you make your list of coefficients. Drop your first thing down. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Add. So, what does this translate into? This is your 1x, because the numerator's highest power is x squared. It's always going to drop down to x, because x squared divided by x is x. Plus 1, and this is always your remainder, plus a -6 all over x plus 2. Number 2, our best option is use long division, because this one, you can't see what the 0 is right away. So let's go ahead and use long division. It's good to review it anyways. So we start with this and this. What times this gives us that? 2y. So now we multiply, we get 4y squared plus 2y. We subtract it all. This minus itself gone. -4y minus 2y is -6y. And we bring the 1 down. Then we repeat it. What times 2y is -6y? That'd be -3. Distribute, -6y. Distribute, -3. But we always subtract. So -6y plus 6y, gone. 1 minus a -3 is actually 4. So my answer would be 2y minus 3, and here's my remainder, plus 4 over 2y plus 1. Number 3, definitely synthetic division, because you can see right now that -4 plus 4 is 0. There is a little trickeration here because there's no squared term, so you have to really make sure you don't screw that up, or else synthetic division will not work. Take out the coefficient of 2, take out the coefficient 0, then 19, then 13. Drop the 2, multiply, add. Multiply, add. Multiply, add. -191. And the numerator starts out with the highest power of a 3, so this translates into 2x squared minus 8x plus 51, and here comes the remainder, plus -191 all over m plus 4. I don't know why I went to the x. That's an m, that's an m. All right, so I already took the time to translate this into this. So obviously we're using long division because of that denominator. Also, there was no 0n squared, so I had to put it in here. And if you don't, long division can get pretty messy too. So don't forget, look for the linear digression, and if there isn't one, then insert something in that spot. Start with the first term. This times 2n squared. So this times this would give me this, but then I have to multiply it by everything. So that'd be 4n to the 4th minus 2n cubed, and that'd be minus 6n squared, but I have to subtract all of that. This minus itself is gone. This, -2n cubed plus 2n cubed, those cancel. 0n squared plus 6n squared would be 6n squared. And because I have 3 things here, I need to drop both of these things down, so -3n minus 9. And then I start with this first term, and I start with this first term. What times this gives me this? 3. This times this is 6n squared. This times this is -3n. This times this is -9. And if you notice, everything here matches everything above it. So when I subtract it, you're just going to get a 0 remainder, which means this is your answer. No remainder. So this one, number 5, you can tell by the denominator that it would work best if we use long division. So what times this gives us this? 2m squared. So then we multiply by both. 6m cubed plus 4m squared. And we subtract. So this minus itself is gone. M squared minus 4m squared is negative 3m squared. And because we only have two things here, we need two things here, which means we're only going to bring down one item. That's 7m, and then we're going to do it again. What times 3m gives us negative 3m squared? That'd be negative 3m. So this, whoops, that'd be negative m. So negative m times 3m is negative 3m squared. Negative m times 2 is minus 2m. So we subtract. Negative 3m squared plus 3m squared, gone. 7m plus 2m is 9m. And then we bring the 10 down. What times 3m gives me 9m? 3. So this times this gives me 9m. This times this gives me 6. Subtract. 9m minus 9m is gone. 10 minus 6 is 4. So that'd be my remainder. So plus 4 all over 3m plus 2. And that would be my answer right up there. Okay, number 6. I took a look at the denominator and I can see that negative 3 would cause that to be a 0. That's what we put in the cheap monk nest. Coefficient, 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 coefficient. That's what we put. That's all in descending order, so we don't need to insert anything. Drop the 1 down, multiply, add. Multiply, add. Multiply, add. You can see we have 0 remainder. Because it started with y cubed, this turns into y squared plus 0y minus 2, which is just y squared minus 2. Number 7, look at the denominator. You can easily see that a 3 would cause that to be a 0, so we're going to use synthetic division. Also, if you look at the numerator, we're missing a 0b squared, so we have to insert the 0 right there. So we take the first item, drop it down. 3 times 2 is 6. Add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So once again, we got a 0 remainder. Because the highest power is a 4, this will drop down to a 3. So that's actually 2x cubed minus 1x squared minus 3x minus 2. Again, I replaced my letter b's with x's. So that's supposed to be a b, a b, a b, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think you guys get the idea. So we look at the denominator. Something plus 2 is 0. That'd be negative 2. That's why negative 2 is here. And here's my 1. Here's my 0. Negative 4, 1, 4. That's why I made that list right there. There is no 0. There is no a cubed, so you have to be on the lookout for that. Drop the first item down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Because the highest power is a 4, this will drop down to a cubed. So that's going to be a cubed minus 2a squared plus 0a plus 1, and then plus remainder, 2 over a plus 2. That wouldn't be part of your answer, really, but that would be your final answer. Okay, number 9. Read the instructions. It says find the product. That means multiply all your roots. Roots means answers. So what that means is solve this and multiply all your answers together. So we're going to use plus or minus p over q. P is all the factors of the constant, so I'll just list them. And there's all the factors of the constant. We get q, that's all the factors of the leading coefficient. So that's plus or minus 1 and 2. Now, if we look at this, all of these, 1, 2, 3, 6, all over 1, would just give us plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 6. But if we go 1 over 2, That starts spitting out some fractions. 2 over 2 just gives us 1. We don't need to rewrite that. 3 over 2 is different. And then 6 over 2 is just 3, and we already have that. So there's the list of all our possible rational roots. We get started by just hoping that 1 works right away. So 2 times 1 is 2. 1 squared 1 minus 3 is negative 3. Minus 11 plus 6. So we got negative 14 and 8, so that didn't work. So we're going to try negative 1. Negative 1 cubed is negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Negative 1 squared is 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Negative 1 times negative 11 is 11 plus 6. So as you can see, 17 minus 5 does not create a 0. So let's try 2. We're going to go f of 2. So 2 cubed is 8 times 2 is 16. 2 squared is 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. And then plus 6. So that's negative 34 and positive 22. It didn't work. Some of these just work out this way. So negative 2. Negative 2 cubed would be negative 8 times 2 would be negative 16. Negative 2 squared is 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 2 times negative 11 is positive 22, and then plus 6. And as you can see, this is 28, and this is negative 28, so there's one of our first answers. Now what do we do with that? We put it in the nest. And then we're going to go with our synthetic division. So that's a 2, negative 3, negative 11, and 6. I'll drop the 2 down. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, so we get negative 7. Negative 2 times negative 7 is 14, so we get 3. Negative 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 6, so we add it and we get 0. And this turns into 2x squared minus 7x plus 3 equals 0. And then to figure this out, we're going to use quadratic formula. So there's my a, there's my b, there's my c. So negative b would be 7 plus or minus the square root of b squared, 49 minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a, which would be 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 49 minus 24 would be 25, which is the same thing as 7 plus or minus 5 all over 4. What's 7 plus 5? 12 divided by 4 is 3. What's 7 minus 5? That's 2. 2 over 4 would be 1/2. So there's my 3 answers. But they're asking us to multiply them all together to be done. So that's negative 6 times 1/2 would be negative 3. And that's it for that one. So my time to record is running out, so I went ahead and did all this work just to jump ahead. So for this one, plus or minus p over plus or minus q, 1, 2, 3, 6, comes from this, all the factors of this, over 1. I see that 1 doesn't, when I plug 1 in, it does not equal 0. When I plug negative 1, it doesn't equal 0. When I plug in 2 or negative 2, it does not equal 0. And I finally find 1 at 3. So when I plug 3 in, I get 27 minus 27 minus 6 plus 6. So it's a ding, ding, ding. So I put the 3 in the chipmunk nest, and then I go 1, negative 3, negative 2, 6. Drop the 1. That'd be 3, 0, 0, negative 2, negative 6, 0. So this ends up being x squared plus 0x minus 2 equals 0. So if I add 2 to both sides, I'm going to x squared is 2, bada boom, bada bing, do the right thing. So my 3 answers are 3, square root of 2, and a negative square root of 2. And if I multiply all this together, we know that the roots fly off here, but it's negative 2 times 3, which would give us a negative 6 for number 10. All right, 30 seconds to explain this. So I did all my work first. So here's one of the roots they gave us. We put it in the chipmunk nest, took all of these and went down, reduced it to this. Then I took the second answer they gave us, put that in the chipmunk nest. So they're making our lives easier. Get this, which turns into this, and then I put all this into the quadratic formula right here. And so now we're going to get 3 plus or minus the square root of 25 over 4, which is just 3 plus or minus 5 all